Hi, so I thought I would just run through this real quick, what I did. So the question is, you were doing some cloning. You have attempted to clone ligate, the 4878 base pair fragment of lambda. So lambda is going to be the fragment. It's going to be the linear fragment. And lambda, and that's going to be 4878 base pairs long. And that's going to be the fragment, so we're going to give it a squiggly line. And then, so you have attempted to clone and ligate the 4878 base pair fragment of lambda from an ECO R1 digest into a PUC 18, which has also been digested with ECO R1. So how big is a PUC 18 usually? So here's a picture of the PUC 18, and it says there are 2,686 base pairs. So if we go back to our original problem, the PUC 18 is going to be 2,686 base pairs. And then this lambda is going to be 4878, which actually is a little bit longer than that. So lambda is going to be 4878 base pairs long. So 4878 base pairs plus 2,686 is 7564. So this whole thing, this new transformed plasmid, is going to be 7,564 base pairs in circumference all the way around. Now, since these had both been cut by ECO R1, then that means at where the PUC is chopped off and the lambda starts, and the lambda is chopped off and the PUC starts again, these are going to be ECO R1 sites. Because how else would we have cut the plasmid apart to put the insert in? So these are going to be ECO R1 sites. Now we just have to find out where those ECO R1 site, where that ECO R1 site is on the PUC 18. Now here's the PUC 18, and there are no ECO R1 sites around the circle because I already checked. So there's no ECO R1, no ECO R1. So the ECO R1 site is going to be in this multiple cloning section right here. And as you can see right there, oops, there, that is going to be 469 on the PUC. That's going to be base pair number 469 on the PUC, where this multiple cloning site comes in. So here is the layout of the base pairs within that multiple cloning site that was on the PUC 18. So if you notice on here, the only ECO R1 on here is right here. And that ECO R1, it says it finishes at about 455. So we're going to use 455 as the base pair marker for the ECO R1 site on the PUC 18. So here is going to be a big circle, and we're going to use blue for the PUC. So at 455, which is going to be right about here, is the ECO R1 site. that is going to cut the circle open linearly. And then after the eco R1 site is when the lambda insert is going to be inserted in. So the lambda insert is going to stop, and there's going to be another eco R1 site right here, because this is the other half of this one, of the top one from the puck. So there's going to be eco R1 right here. And remember, we looked up the multiple cloning site on the puck, and the eco R1 ends right about 455. So this is at about 455 base pairs. So if you imagine this at 0, 455 is going to be right there. Now that's going to be the eco R1 site for the puck. And the puck also, remember this puck was 2686 base pairs long. So we're going to know that from this eco R1 site to this eco R1 site is going to be the puck, and that's going to be 2686 base pairs. Puck 18. And then on this lambda, we know the lambda is 4878 base pair fragment because it was told us that in the problem. So we're going to go ahead and mark this section right here as lambda 4878 base pairs long. So if you add up the 2686 base pairs and the 4878 base pairs from the lambda, you end up getting 7564 base pairs total for this whole thing. Now we need to look on this lambda sheet and find out which fragment is 4878 base pairs long and is cut by eco R1. Well, so on this sheet I look for the eco R1 sites, which is down here, and I know that's small, so I'm going to blow it up. So here's the eco R1 sites on lambda. Now remember, lambda is only going to be, our fragment of lambda is only going to be 4878 base pairs long. So we need to find a fragment that these would cut that would end up giving us 4878. So if I take 449.72 minus 391.68, that would give us 5804 in between there. Now if I take 391.68 minus 317.47, that would give me 74.21, and we don't want that. We want 48.78. So now let's take 31,747 minus 261.04, and that gives us 56.43. So that's not good either. So what about these first two? Let's take 26.104 minus 21.226. 26.104 minus 21.226. And that ends up giving us 4878 base pairs. So that means we know that the fragment that is cut from lambda, this lambda fragment, that is 4878 base pairs long is going to start with base pair number 21226, and it's going to end with base pair 26104. So back to our drawing, this beginning of lambda is actually going to be lambda's base pair number 21226, and this where lambda ends is going to be 26104 for lambda. That's the base pairs in the lambda fragment. So we have to figure out where this eco R1 fragment is, or section is, where the lambda ends. The lambda is 4878 base pairs, but it starts at eco R1 site 455. So if you add those together, you end up with 5,333. So this eco R1 site is going to be at 5,333. So the eco R1 cut, the one end of it cut is 455. The other end of it, where it was cut in half, is 5,333. Now that we know where the eco R1 sites are, now we're going to move on to doing Hindi 3. Hindi 3. Now first let's do it on the puck. We can look up on the puck to see if there's any Hindi 3s here. And I can tell you, I already went over this, there's no Hindi 3s on any of these. So, but there might be a Hindi 3 in this multiple cloning site. So let's look at that. So here's the multiple cloning site. And here is a Hindi 3 right here. This is the only Hindi 3. And if you see, Hindi 3 starts at 399 base pairs on the puck. So let's go back to our picture, and you see how eco R1 is at 455 base pairs on the puck. So Hindi 3 is just 399, so it's going to be right in here somewhere. Now we know where the Hindi 3 site is going to be on the puck section of it. Now we have to go to the lambda page and find out where Hindi 3 cuts in lambda. And remember, we're only looking where Hindi 3 cuts between these base pairs, between the 21,226 base pairs and the 26,104 base pairs. Okay, so here is the Hindi 3 sites on lambda. And remember, we're only looking for Hindi 3 sites between 21,226 base pairs and 26,104 base pairs. So here's one. Here's 23130. So that fits in between there. So 23130. And then here's 25157. So that fits in there as well. 25157. But then this next one is 27479. Now that's over the 26,104, so that's not going to fit in there, and neither are any of these. So we just have this 23,130 and 25,157 Hindi sites on the lambda. So here we are. We have 23,130 and 25,157. on the Hindi sites on the lambda. But remember, the lambda isn't really counted like this 21,226. The 21,226 is the starting point for the lambda. So if we subtract this one, the 23,130 from 21,226, we're going to get 1904. So that's going to be a 1904 fragment between these two. But it starts at 455. So we're going to have to add 455 to the base pairs. And that puts us right about here. Hindi 3 at 2359 base pairs for the whole circle. Now, same as this other one. If we take 25,157 minus 21,226, we get 3931 plus the 455 that we started at. So that's 4386. So that's going to put us right about here, down here on the circle. All right, so that does it for Hindi 3. So now we need to do XBA1. So first, let's go and see if the puck has any XBA1 sites to it. So here's the multiple cloning site of the puck. And let's see, we have an XBA1 right there, and that's it. So XBA1, it's not telling us what number these base pairs are, but we can go back and look at this 399 base pair right here. So, and just count. So 400, 401, 402, 403, 404, 405, 406, 407, 408, 409, 410, 411, 412, 413, 414, 415, 416, 417, 418, 419, 420, 421, 422, 423. So this is going to start at 423. So 423 on the puck. Now, if on this puck, if Hindi 3 is at 399 up here, and Eco R1 is at 455, then 423 is just going to be sandwiched right in the middle between there. And here's XBA1 at 423. And that's the only site on the puck. So now we need to go over to the lambdas sites and see where their XBA1 is. And remember, we're only doing it between 21,226 and 26,104. Okay, so here's the lambda, and here's the XBA1 right here. And XBA1 only has one site, and that's 24508. So let's go back to our circle. 24508. So if we have 24508, that's between this 21,226 and the 26,104. So if we subtract 24508 minus the starting point, the 21,226, then you have 3282. But plus, remember, it starts the the start of lambda starts at 455. So we have to add that 455 on. So that's 3737. So 3737 would be the XBA1 site on this transform plasmid, which would be right down about here. So now we have all of the sites marked. We have the Eco R1, we have the Hindi 3, and we have the XBA1. I hope that helped, and now you can go through and it's just a matter of math of figuring out the little fragments that are going to be cut up with these restriction enzymes. I hope that helps.